All right, what's up, people, and welcome back to TJ Warren TV. Today, we are going to be talking about the Europa League. More importantly, Arsenal's second leg against Sporting Lisbon. Big game in our hopes of getting a trophy back to the Emirates. So, again, today we have us joining us for the first time. Connor, how you doing, man?
I'm good. Thank you very much for having me on, TJ. It's a pleasure, and I'm looking forward to the conversation today, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Of course, my man. Of course. Thanks for coming on. And of course, the legend, Jez. How you doing, man?
Yeah, all good, man. All good. Yeah, thanks for having me back. Really enjoyed the show the other day. Good discussion, good debate, and yeah, should be a good debate tonight.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And yeah, I gotta say, I tallied our projected scores from the show on Friday, so we'll be sharing that on Friday during the St. Patty's Day edition of the American Idiot Show. I'm gonna try to get Del Boy and Kyle on there again, so we can just have the Irish explosion on there. So both of you are more than welcome to come and join us for that one as well, because that's gonna be insane, I'm sure. Okay, so let's get into it. So we got Arsenal going up against Sporting Lisbon at the Emirates on Thursday night under the lights. Big game, big game, big game. I wanted to talk to you guys about the lineup. I've been watching a lot of shows, kind of trying to figure out what Arteta has planned for the visitors from Portugal. Jez, especially since I really value your input on this, I want to ask you this first. Do you think Arteta is going to play a strong lineup this Thursday night?
I think he has to, TJ. No excuse. We've got pretty much a full squad back. So, in my book, I think he went cagey last week. We've now got the full team back. Let's get it right. So I think he has to go all out for this now. If he's serious in Europe, then just put the team out. I wouldn't be at all surprised if he started with Jesus, which I think would be a good option. I think he would cause Sporting Lisbon a lot of issues with his trickery that he can do. And when he came on the game at the weekend, he looked good. He looked like he was going to cause issues. He had a go. He unlucky not to score. So I think this would be a great game to get him back on track. And we know that Ramsdale will be benched because he'll put on the replacement for that. But okay, I can live with that one. I don't think Lisbon are going to cause over big dramas at the Emirates. And I predicted on a show the other night, I'm going to go for a confident 3-0. I think if we start like we did against Fulham at the weekend, we'll come out with a decent result. I really do. Craven Cottage is not an easy little ground to go and play at, and they took them apart. They didn't have a clue what was going on. We bossed that game. And I've had this discussion this week with a few people saying, well, Sporting Lisbon are a different class to Fulham. I don't know about that right now. I think it's just the fact that Arsenal are levels above. So I think, go out with the full team, make an impact, go 2-0 up. If we're 2-0 up, mate, going in that second half, after 65 minutes, 70 minutes, drag a few players off and put replacement off the bench. And I still think we'll win.
Yeah. No, it sounds like another day at the office, and it could be. It definitely could be. First, I want to big up Jaminho, Craig, Mama Flossie. Okay. You know your channel is hitting it big when Mama Flossie is in the chat. When Mama Flossie's in the chat, you know you've hit it big. So big up Mama Flossie. Thank you so much for coming on. And thanks for the kind words when I went on the football terrace today. I was nervous if you couldn't tell. Okay, going back to the game, Connor, what are you thinking about the lineup? Is Mr. Arteta going to play a strong lineup?
Well, I hope so. In the sense, I really hope that he does, and I think he will. There's the reasoning for it. It's currently a draw on the aggregate score. We need goals. We need to be winning. We need to be winning the game either way. So yes, I would definitely go for the strongest side. I think you can definitely see a couple, both goals really from the last game. Set pieces, weren't they? And especially in the box. And obviously, I think Kivior tried his best. Obviously, we had that little mishap with the first goal. I would stick with our strongest pairing of Gabriel and Saliba personally. Wouldn't even change that. Do you know what? Maybe even do you know what? Maybe we've always talked about this. I think maybe even giving Tierney maybe a run out. But then again, Zinchenko's been fantastic, hasn't he? So we can't really fault him. But no, definitely go for the strongest side. I think we'll take this game by the scruff of the neck. I think it could be like Jez said, maybe like a 3-0. They've got two of their players suspended now from last game because they've had too many yellow cards. One of their centre backs, Quartes, and then Marita as well. So and Quartes is massive for them as well. He's I think their best centre back for them. Yeah, so that's gonna be a massive plus for us. So yeah, I'd go full strength definitely. Why not? We want to be winning this competition as well, don't we? So shouldn't really be any messing around unless the players should be fit enough. They're professional football players at the end of the day. There shouldn't really be any of this. Maybe apart from Saka, because Saka has literally not played a game for how long. But you're professional footballers. You should be really ready for every game that comes at you majority of the time. So yeah, I'd go full strength. I hope Jesus possibly gets a game. Maybe switch up the attack a bit because obviously we've now got so many attacking options. It's fantastic. Like we've actually got some players that we can actually pick. Like, oh, should we play them? Should we play them? So if Jesus and Arteta know that he's fit, I'll happily start him. And hi Carl, by the way. And I'll go full strength to answer your question there, TJ. And I think it'll be a high score line. I'll go with Jez 3-0. I'm gonna go 3-0 tomorrow.
Okay.
Or Thursday, sorry.
Okay, I'm gonna bring it around. Let me introduce Kyle real quick and let him introduce himself. But I'm gonna ask you guys for your lineups, so keep thinking about who you want to see in the starting 11. While we introduce the Irish volcano, the sensation himself, Kyle Walsh. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, TJ. I'm good. Big up to you, man. And thanks for having me on your show tonight. Always a pleasure. And sharing the screen with two legends in Jez and Connor. Big up to you all. I hope you're all well.
Thanks, Jez.
Absolutely. And big up the chat as well. Keep smashing the likes. Keep talking about the channel. We're having a good time out here for sure. So of course, if anybody in the chat wants to join at some point, you know where to find me. Let's get on camera. Let's talk. So, Kyle, I was asking Jez and Connor if you think Arteta is gonna field a strong lineup against Sporting this week. What do you think?
I'll be expecting it, TJ. I'll be expecting to do nothing but play at the strongest. When you're in the competition in elite sport, you're in that competition to win. Therefore, you play your best players. So I'll be very disappointed tomorrow or Thursday if we're not playing our best 11. And I think that if we do play our best 11, I think we can win this game. And I think we win this game handy enough. I'll be going for a 2-0 victory. That's what I'll be expecting. I'll be expecting nothing less.
All right. I like the standard. I like the raising of the standard. No BS coming from Kyle. We're done with this. We're done with this.
TJ, as Jez will say to you, the last European competition we won was in 1994. It's unacceptable. It's
like the European Cup Winners' Cup or something like that.
Yeah, Cup Winners' Cup. That's coming up to almost 30 years ago. For the size of Arsenal Football Club, in my eyes, not good enough.
I agree. Couldn't agree more. Our Euro track record is horrible, which is why I think this is as important as winning the league. To be honest, let's get something in the trophy case. You got it. They're the same level, and both of them get us to the Champions League. So if that's the aim, let's go for it. I will give my lineup, and I'll also say that I don't think Arteta is going to play the strongest lineup he can. And I think that's because he's looking towards Crystal Palace going into the international break. I think he's going to want to send us, and we're playing Crystal Palace at home, right? So I think he's going to want to rest certain players going into that game, because I don't care how many shots. I don't think Crystal Palace has had a shot in 3 games. They will get a shot at the Emirates. And if you don't think Patrick Vieira is going to get them up for that game and say something about, hey, come on, let's get at these guys, I think you're crazy. I think Vieira and that Crystal Palace team, they're on really, really bad form right now, but what is Arsenal famous for? given teams or breaking bad records or breaking bad streaks, right? Especially Mikel Arteta, but I won't get into that. So what I will say, my starting 11, I think we're going to see Matt Turner in goal. I hope we see Tierney on the left. I don't think we will. I think, unfortunately, we're going to see Curior in the middle again. Gabriel in the center back pairing. I think on the right, we're going to see Ben White. In the middle, unfortunately, Fabio Vieira. We'll go Fabio Vieira, Partey, and Odegaard. And then up front, we'll have... Let me think about this. On the left, we'll have Martinelli. Center, we'll have Jesus, even though I don't necessarily agree with it. I'm going with what I think Arteta's going to do. So Jesus. And then on the right, we will have... I think we'll have Trossard. I think he should rest Saka, but he probably won't. So, but I don't want Saka in the front three. I think he's exhausted, and I think we can finish this without him. Especially, looking at his last couple of games, you can tell he's absolutely exhausted. So I hope we give him a rest. Did he get called up for England?
Yeah, he probably will anyway. I don't think. Yeah, he probably has.
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't. He was their top goal scorer in the World Cup.
Yeah. So great.
Yeah.
So
games.
Rest him whenever you can.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say. Rest him whenever you can. Jez, what do you think?
Yeah, I think Matt Turner will be in goal. It's his sort of place to play in. I'm not necessarily going to agree with it, but it's his place to play in the European competition. It does concern me. I don't disrespect Matt Turner. I'm not sure it's his level if we're serious about winning this trophy. I would also like to see Tierney start. I'm pretty certain he won't. I'm sure he'll go with Zinchenko, which is not a bad option. Zinchenko's been playing well last couple of games, so I can't knock that. And I did notice in that Fulham game, he was not so much in midfield as he has been. Maybe that's because Arteta has identified the fact that we get too we get too exposed on that left flank when you go in midfield. I personally would like to see let's talk up front. I would like to see Jesus, Martinelli, and Trossard. I agree. I would like to rest Saka in readiness for the game on Sunday. It's 2:00 kickoff Sunday with Palace at home. So yeah, I'll rest him. Defense wise, I would go Ben White. I would go Saliba, Gabriel. I think Gabriel right now is playing exceptionally well. Scored a nice goal at the weekend. Midfield wise, I would rest Saka all day long. I'm not sure about Kiwior and Vieira. I'll be truthful with you. I think our midfield has got to be strong. That's the one place we could fall down if we go a little bit slack. So I would stay with the midfield in Partey, Xhaka, Odegaard, and maybe Nelson, I think.
Yeah, Nelson's a good shout. I completely see he doesn't play enough, so like I completely forgot about Nelson. I don't know why I keep forgetting about Reece Nelson. He's done a very good job when he's been called upon the last couple of games. Absolutely. Yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing him even seeing him on the left, and then you can stick Trossard on the right, give Martinelli a rest too. Yeah. Connor, what do you think?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go down pretty much the same route. Yeah, like Jez said, I think Turner will be in goal. I mean, he wasn't great, but he wasn't that bad. I mean, he could have made a couple. He could actually grab the ball last game, but yeah, like Jez said, I think he'll start. Even though I probably would prefer Ramsdale because it's such a close tie at the moment. Even though I think we'll most likely destroy them, but. Yeah, I think if I'm thinking of Arteta's lineup, I'll go Turner. Fullbacks, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Tomiyasu actually starts because it's Europa League. I think he might possibly start Tomiyasu over Ben White. So I'm going to go with Tomiyasu actually, even though I probably would prefer Ben White. And then Gabriel and Saliba, I don't think he's going to make that mistake really of having Kivior there again. Even though he might, I wouldn't have him in there just because of what happened last game. And I prefer. I'd be more comfortable with having Gabriel and Saliba next to each other. I think Zinchenko will start because as much as we do hate him running out into the midfield and not covering his position at left back, he is one of our best players if we've got to look at it realistically, especially with its attacking wise as well. So, and we're going to need to attack a lot tomorrow, that's for sure, or Thursday even. So yeah, I'll have Zinchenko in there, and I'd do a normal midfield of Xhaka, Partey, Odegaard. I wouldn't risk in changing it, even with someone like Fabio Vieira or Jorginho. I just wouldn't change it, in my opinion. And then, this is great. We were actually having a debate here on who we can have in the attack. Isn't this fantastic? We can actually debate.
I can't believe it.
Yeah, who we can actually have in the front three. It's fantastic. And I want to go Jesus because I think. Should I? It's difficult. Do you know what? No, I might be a bit. I'll be a bit different because I think Jesus should get a bit more of a rest, in my opinion. Maybe bring him on for more time in the second half. So I'm actually going to go with Martinelli and Trossard because I think you can't bench Trossard, in my opinion, because 3 assists last game. He's on a roll. He could even score. So I'm going to keep him there. I will still play Martinelli and Trossard. And honestly, I don't know whether to go with a toss-up of do we put Smith Rowe in there? I mean, like he's available. I mean, I know he hasn't played for a while, but I want to rest Saka, so I'm gonna go Nelson because he hasn't put a foot wrong. And we watch him in games. He's trying his best, so I'm gonna go over front three of Martinelli, Trossard, and Reece Nelson.
Ooh. And I like that lineup too. I like that lineup. Like I if I saw that, I would not like rage. Smash my computer or anything like that. I would be very, very happy with it. It's enough quality. It's enough quality for us to get it over the line. Kyle, what do you think?
TJ, I think the Premier League is the number one thing for Arteta. And yeah, I want the full strength team out there playing Thursday night, but it's not going to happen because we'll be keeping a close eye on the Crystal Palace game on Sunday. So here's the team that I think Arteta might put out Thursday nights. Turner in goal. Tomiyasu right back. Shevchenko left back. And Gabriel and Kia Ward. And then I'm going to go for Partey, Xhaka, and Vieira. And then I'm going to go for Nelson, Martinelli up forward, and to answer your question, Saka will be playing on the right. He will not drop Saka. So that's the team he's going to take Thursday night, in my opinion.
Okay, I don't want to go like too far off on a tangent here because I know we've talked about it before, but I don't understand the thinking in risking Saka in a game like this. Like maybe just to give the guys a boost or something like that, but the job can get done if you have somebody like a Reece Nelson, a Martinelli, and a Jesus and a Trossard. Like the job can get done that way. So I'm not like I get scared, I guess you can say for lack of a better word, because one bad tackle from some third stringer, some plumber that plays for Sporting, and he ends his career, or not ends his career, but ends his season. Like one bad tackle, and then he's done because we put him out there in a second leg of a game that we can win with our, well, theoretically should be able to win with our second string. So, I mean, are we playing Saka too much? I'm going to just put that out there. Jez, what do you think?
I think right now, yes. To me, he looks tired. He doesn't look 100%. I still think he's carrying that knock he picked up 3 games ago. He doesn't look to be the player he has been. And I think there's no need to play him tomorrow. I agree with what Kyle said. You know, it's almost a God's given that Arteta will pick him and play him. But, you know, as we just said, isn't it nice that we can actually sit here and debate about who we can play? We haven't had this for a very, very long time. And now we can all 4 of us sit here and the chat can say, well, I'd play him instead of him. I'd play him instead of him. It's been so long where it's been week in, week out. We picked the same 11 because that's all we had. And now we have possibilities. Now, no, let's get it right. I'm not saying we've got a massive depth of players on the bench. We haven't. But what we do have is a good opportunity where we can mix this game up. And I think that is what we've been missing for a very, very long time. To the point that we can now say, shall we play Smith Rowe? Shall we play Reece Nelson? That means we could possibly rest Saka for this game in readiness for Crystal Palace. It's been too long that we've not been able to do that.
I was going to say, when was the last time, Jez, do you remember when the last time you felt like you could have a debate? What year was it? We could have a debate where we were like, ages.
2004, TJ, because we've had absolute dirt ever since, up until now.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're talking start of the season. And even then, we had players that weren't fully fit. And then when, the World Cup came and we had players go out, Jesus being a class situation, now we are actually in the position very nicely that we can say, right, we're not going to play Saka this weekend. We'll have him there. We'll have him on the bench if needed, but I won't start him. I'll start Reece Nelson or Smith Rowe. Although I don't think Smith Rowe is 100% yet. But we've got Jesus back, so he can come in the mix. He can cause trouble. And I think Jesus against Sporting Lisbon will cause them major drama. Seriously, major drama. Him and Martinelli against Sporting Lisbon, along with Trossard, who at the moment is playing above his boxing weight, is that front three. I tell you, they will cause some absolute devastation to Sporting Lisbon. And that's great, isn't it? That is absolutely great. And, I can agree. I think, is it Conor you said, or Kyle, that we might have Tomiyasu start. We never know. We may go back to a situation where we have Tomiyasu start at left back. Yeah. He's done that. He's done that and done it.
Because that's where he's see. Yeah, I just want to see, and I don't want to interrupt, but I just want to see Tierney released from purgatory. I was happy to see him on the bench. I don't care where he starts, just start him. Go,
TJ,
go, Kyle.
You may forget about Tierney, my friend. Tierney is he's not part of the plan. Tierney is out there in the summertime. Trust me, he's gone.
I know he's gone. I just want to see him. I just want to see him one last time.
You probably won't get to see us. There's something going on there behind the scenes there between Arteta and Tierney. Something definitely happening there, you know. It's
maybe he spoke. Like when we've previously obviously seen players fall out with Mikel, it's normally to do with the player possibly thinks he's above the manager, or the player wants to speak over the manager. And Tierney, especially coming from Scotland, seems like the kind of player who just doesn't take shit, in my opinion. Excuse my language.
I'm not monetized. You could say whatever you want.
Yeah. I think not saying that Tierney's done anything wrong in my eyes. Like I love Tierney. I've always loved Tierney at Arsenal, but I think it just seems all a bit strange how he was obviously our starting left back last season. Fair enough, Zinchenko came in and he's made a difference into this side. We can all see that very clearly, but it doesn't mean that you should completely cut him out the squad. Like I brought this up the other day. I don't know if it might have been on one of Jez's streams that Zinchenko was injured for a month. Tierney played, I think, a game or two, and then all of a sudden, and I don't think he done really anything wrong, and all of a sudden Tomiyasu started at left back, and I'm like, what? Like, what's happened there? And so I agree with Carl completely. I think something's obviously happened behind the scenes. Maybe Tierney said something that Arteta doesn't like, and Arteta's taken that like personally and has slated him off, which is sad because we all know how much the fans love Tierney for everything that he does, whether it comes to football or how he walks out onto the training pitch in just shorts in -5 degree weather, you know. So, yeah, it's a shame, but I wouldn't even be surprised, like you said, if Tomiyasu starts at left back ahead of him. Honestly,
I mean, here's the thing that I don't get is that like a lot of after Aubameyang left, which good. I was a big Aubameyang fan. I followed him after he came from Dortmund. I was a big fan of his. But as soon as he puts himself above the team, like I'm glad Arteta binned him. I'm glad. But Tierney, I don't know, man. Like people were calling for him to be the next captain after Aubameyang left. Right? Like a lot of people were. Yeah. So I like what I'm having trouble reconciling is like I don't feel like he put a foot wrong this season, at least on the pitch, So you're right. There must have been something that happened where Mikel they're ready to sell him. They're ready to sell him. So it's just, it concerns me because, again, I'm going to go back to the depth question. Where do we go when we don't have Tierney, at least in relief for Zinchenko? Tomiyasu is not the answer. If you were to ask me if I wanted to keep or sell Tomiyasu, I'd say sell in a second because I don't think he's levels. I don't think he's good enough.
TJ, we have a few problems there in the full-back positions. You're on about Tomiyasu. I'm the same. Tomiyasu should not be at Arsenal Football Club. He's not good enough.
Agreed.
And then you look over the left back position, and we're debating here about Tierney. And Tierney came from Celtic as a winner. After winning championships with the winning mentality. Now, I know Celtic are fucking brutal. Any of us here could play for Celtic. But the thing is, he's a good player. He's tough. He's hardy. But he's very, very injury prone as well. You have to be real. When we're talking, might say talk facts. And maybe because he's injured so many times, maybe this is another thing that's against him at Arsenal Football Club. There could be a few things here, about the whole situation, because he is a quality player. And I think if Arsenal do sell him, I said, look, get 20 million for him. 20, 25 million, that be it. What way we are, when it's time to sell players, we get absolutely jack shit for players. And it's sad, because Tierney could be our captain. He's the best left back. I think he's on form. When they're playing on form, I think Tierney's the best left back we have. But if Tierney is sold, what I'm trying to say is that we have problems. Because now we have Zinchenko. But we also have that Tavares fella, don't forget. So we have
I was hoping you weren't going to bring him up.
That fella's useless.
This is the thing. I said this all last season. Sorry to interrupt you, Kyle. Tavares, it's this. I don't know what it is with left backs. Tavares couldn't defend, and that was facts. And whenever I watched Tavares last season, I said, this fella, his papers must have been written wrong. This man's a left winger. He's a winger. He doesn't defend. To be fair to him, he wasn't what we wanted him to be when we signed him. I know we only bought him for, what was it, 5 mil from Sporting Lisbon?
Mm-hmm.
We didn't expect him to be the best thing on planet Earth. But as a defender, you expect a defender to come in and defend. You know, that's their role as a defender. When he actually was going forward, I thought he was actually pretty all right. But I just thought he's not going to work as a left back. And to be fair, he has gone to Marseille and played mainly at a left wing back role and has done all right, to be fair. But we don't play wing backs. That's not how we roll. That we don't do that. So I completely agree with the space on Tavares. If he comes back, he's not going to be used. It could be another. If we don't sell him, this is just another player on the payroll. Because go on,
Conor, it's like what you're saying there about Tavares and all. Like the fans, Sport Lisbon fans told Arsenal, don't get this fella. This fella's an idiot. So when you have your own fans telling you, and the reason why I'm saying these things is because we're all bigging up Arsenal for Champions League football next season, and I'm back to naming out the right back position and the left back position that we need to buy in quality players for just those two positions. So we're talking about rebuilding the squad again now in the summer. To go, I hope we win the league this season, but we have to strengthen. We have to get rid of players and we have to buy in players if we want to compete in the Champions League. So straight away, there's two positions straight away.
So according to Transfer Market, we bought Noon Tavash for $8 million. And he is worth about half that, in my opinion. I don't think he is levels to play at this team. Unfortunately, we're just, it's a failed experiment with him. I think at first people thought that, he might have that right or that left wing back, like spark to him, but I don't think that he doesn't go inverted like Mikel wants everybody to, apparently. So we're going to see Zinchenko played into the ground until we get somebody that Mikel likes at that position. So yeah, I think that's just the unfortunate situation about it. All right. So, Jez, I think you and Conor gave your scores. Kyle, what do you think for our chances this week?
2-0 tomorrow night or Thursday night. 2-0 to Arsenal.
2-0.
I'm actually expecting it to be. I'm expecting it to be a handy enough game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think with the right attitude, I think to win that game. Yeah, 2-0.
Yep.
I'll be disgusted. I'll be absolutely disgusted if we get based. You're hearing me in the States shouting because I will go make.
We are not
going to beat Arsenal Thursday night, lads. I ain't telling you.
If we go out on Thursday, Kyle, I'll spin up a stream and I'm just gonna leave and I'll watch you just absolutely rage.
That's a deep.
There's gonna be nothing I can say that you won't say 10 times louder than I will. So
that should not happen, TJ.
I will be fuming. We should so if we play, here's my take. If we play a strong midfield, aka Vieira on the bench, which I still don't think is going to happen. I think Mikel's in love with this guy. If we play a Partey, Xhaka, Odegaard, or, interchange somebody else in the midfield, we should win this game 4-0. Easy. Because we create through the midfield. If our midfield creates, we're unstoppable. So I think that if we play a strong midfield, we will win. We could win going away. I would say 4-0. If we don't, it's going to be either a 1 or a 2-0, unfortunately. So, but if we lose, like I said, I will explode. Okay, so I wanted to bring this up because I've been seeing a lot of debate about it, and then we can maybe get back to Euro football here. But I'm confused a little bit. And maybe you guys can help me out with it, because there's been a lot of debate about it on just shows that I've been watching. I know they were talking about it on the Football Terrace. They're talking about it on Band Sportsies. They were talking about it everywhere. Did you guys see the Casemiro red card?
Yeah.
You saw that play? Okay. So I'm confused. I saw it. And I'll give my takes and you guys give your takes, okay? This thing, that was light. I don't think that should have been a red. I think it should have been, it was a strong yellow because his spikes were up. And Jez, I really want to get your opinion on this because you were obviously a referee. But he was going for the ball. He got the ball. His foot carried over the ball and then went into the guy. I don't think that should have been a red. Am I glad it was? I guess, because it's going to put Casemiro out and it's going to put United in the bin for a while, because without Casemiro, that midfield is shaky. But I thought that was strong. I thought that was a little harsh. Jez, what did you think about it?
Well, the fact remains that in Law 16 of the laws of football, violent foul play, if you go into a tackle showing your studs and you make contact with the player at that height off the ground, mate, it's a straight red.
Mm-hmm.
Fact. That is fact. There's no argument. It's the same as you go in 2-footed tackle on a player, straight red, no question. You could say it's a little bit soft, but it's in the laws of the game, man. And if the laws of the game say it, you've got to adhere to it. It's fact.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he could have broken his shin, and then we're into a whole different scenario. It's not. There's no grey area in that situation. It's black or white, and unfortunately, it was black because he went in, sliding in. His foot was up, 2 foot off the ground, showing his studs into his shin bone. Could have broken his ankle, shin, whatever. It's a straight red. No, there's no argument, I'm afraid.
Yeah, well, I've been hearing a lot of arguments, so that was why I wanted to ask the question. There's a lot of people that have been going out there, and maybe they're just making excuses for their club. Like, I do listen to a lot of Manchester United content creators, because I know. Well, you know, if that was an Arsenal player, like, you know, I don't know if I'm going to be able to say, hey, we looked at that objectively, and that shouldn't have been a red. You know, I obviously there's going to be some bias to it, but when I looked at it, I thought it was a little harsh.
The thing is, TJ, you know, if we look back in history, I remember the class back in the days when we had the great battles at Highbury and Old Trafford between Patrick Vieira, you know, and Keane. You know, there's occasions where Keane got sent off for violent conduct in a tackle, and there's times with Tony Adams. Now, I have to be honest, I am a fair level-headed fan. Obviously, I'm always biased towards Arsenal, of course. But when you see a blatant, dangerous tackle, which comes down to violent conduct, having been at a low level as a football referee, you have to go with the laws of the game. And I remember when Tony Adams got sent off for tackling Roy Keane in a dangerous manner when he studs in on his knee, and he got a straight red. And I said, "Well, fair play."
Right.
I'm an Arsenal fan. Of course, I don't want to see our club captain get sent off, but it's a straight red. You can't argue the case. You know, if you go up to somebody in a bar, right, and you smack over the head with a bottle, you can't justify it. You've done the crime. So, you know, when the police
bottle
come out,
slipped out of my hand onto his head.
Exactly. So there's no argument. It's facts. You know, you got to take the punishment. And unfortunately for Casemiro, I'm sorry, mate. You did a stupid nonsense thing, and you're now on a 4-match ban. Fact.
Couldn't happen to a better guy. Kyle, what do you think?
I'm like Jez, I'll be level-headed. And if I see an Arsenal player going in for a tackle, and I thought that it was a red card offence, I'd say, yeah, fuck off the field. You shouldn't be putting in tackles like that. My brother's a Man United fan, so Toes had a big debate here the other night about Casemiro's challenge. And obviously, him being a Man United fan, it was like Casemiro did nothing at all. There he is getting sent off. That wasn't, what was that for? So I looked at it, slowed it down, looked at it. Not only should he be banned for 4 games, he should be banned for the rest of the season. It was a horrendous tackle.
Whoa. All right.
That's a career break. That's a career-ending tackle. That is. That's shocking. The stones are up. Full belt. That could destroy a man's career. And for me, football is the beautiful game, and tackles like that should not be allowed in the game. And if they are allowed in the game, the players should be punished, but not for 3 or 4 games. Should be fucked off the rest of the season. Because I tell you one thing, I like to think what we'd be like if that was us out there, and that happened, that tackle come in. I remember playing 5-a-side soccer about 7 years ago, and a fella actually went in and done a bad tackle on me now. And I thought my leg was broke, but I didn't give a fuck if it was broken up because I was getting up off the ground one way or the other. And I grabbed him by the fucking throat and I had to pull off him. There's no need for it, lads. It's only a football game.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
You know, they're supposed to be professionals. Casemiro should know that's a career-ending tackle. And then what's he crying about?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Oh,
I mean,
look what happened to Ramsey after he had his leg broken. He was never the same player again.
Never the same.
He was never the same player again. I don't care how good a professional you are. Yeah, somebody snaps your leg. Yeah, you're never ever going to go into a tackle the same again because you're always going to be wondering, oh, is that going to happen to me again? I don't care whether you're Roy Keane, Patrick Vieira, or back in the stupid days in the 70s when you had Billy Bremner, the ankle breakers. You know, you're going to think, oh, I'm not sure about this tackle. And you're going to slightly come out of it. Because I refereed 2 games where I've seen people get broken legs. And it's like a shotgun when you hear that snap. And it's not nice. It is really quite. I played
hockey. I've been on the ice when femurs snapped. It's like a gunshot. It's nuts.
Not nice, is it?
Nope, not at all. Connor. Oh, here we go. Yeah, I had to put this out there. I'm sorry. Go for it, Kyle.
I know football isn't played in slow motion, my friend. I played at a high level of football myself. So I know what it's all about. So I actually got my leg broke in football and put me out my career, which I was playing very high level at the time. So I know football isn't played in slow motion. Who's saying anything about football being played in slow motion? No one said that. No one said football isn't played in slow motion. Yep. I said I looked at the tackle. I went back on the tackle, the Casemiro tackle, and I slowed it down and had a good look at it. But in fast play, in replay, and in slow motion, it's a red card all day long. And challenges like that should not be happening. And if it does happen, the player should be punished severely.
All right. That's Kyle's take. Connor, what do you think? I want to give you a chance to jump in here.
Yeah, we got to appreciate this first. Firmino, City just won 7-0 against Leipzig. With no red cards to Leipzig, they just destroyed it. And
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that here in a second.
That's worrying.
Yep.
That kind of form. Anyway,
we'll end on that.
the tackle. I completely agree with both Jez and Kyle there. Listen, at the end of the day, your studs are up. You can't fault that. So I don't think I know he was upset at the end of it. I think he knew. Obviously, he got that red card 2 games prior. 3 games prior, 2 games prior. So he knew he was going to be suspended for longer than just a match. But listen, in the day, you don't put your studs up, man. Come on, it's for you. Also, he's 31. It's not like he's 20. He doesn't know. He hasn't really had much experience of the Premier League or any of the big leagues. In fact, he's just joined the season. But you're 31. Come on, and Casemiro isn't one for getting red cards. I remember watching him at Real Madrid. I don't think I can't remember ever seeing, maybe even once, him getting a red card in La Liga or for Real Madrid. Someone might have to stat that. I'm not too sure, but I think that's the case. So he's a well-experienced enough footballer. The fact that people were saying, I mean, of course, I've got Man United mates, and I think it's like we said, it's the same for any team. We're all in a group chat together, and as soon as that red card went through, he was like, "Oh no, that's a yellow all day. Like, how was that a red?" And of course, it's the bias side, I think, of football fans. Like we say, if it was Arsenal, I think we might be a bit lenient, say it wasn't. But listen, at the end of the day, you don't have to keep it short and sweet, like as Carl and Jez pretty much explained it all. You don't have your studs up like that. It can massively just destroy a player's career, as we've said. And he's old enough to know that. And I think it's just a mistake at the end of the day. But you've got to hold up that mistake and do your suspension. And the best part about it is Man United have now lost their best midfielder for 4 games, so that makes it even better. So, but yeah, no, completely agree. Clear red, in my opinion. Clear red.
Okay. So yeah, and you look back on it, and if you're looking at it from a non-biased perspective, his spikes went into a shin, red card, 100%. And another thing that I want to bring up too, not to stick it into Manchester United fans 100%, but this isn't his first offense. Like he got games based off of yellow cards, and then now he has 2 straight reds. So it's not like he's come in here and been an angel, right? So like I don't know, like, and I get why they're frustrated, because Casemiro is like their midfield. Now they have to deal with like McFred moving forward, which fantastic. I'm really happy about that. But I don't know what the difference of play between this and La Liga is, but he did not get penalized this much while he was in La Liga. Just flat didn't. So I don't know, where this kind of form came out of. So, all right. So a couple of things I want to address, and then we will get into Erling Haaland.
TJ,
go ahead.
I'd just like to say there that the La Liga is a different ball game than the Premier League, than the English Premier League. Different intensity, different, more quicker game and all the rest of it. So you can see why he might be a bit more under the radar than he was at Madrid. And Madrid as well, they dominated the Spanish league there for a long time as well with Barcelona. It was always just a two of them on the recent times when Atletico started to give him a bit of competition. So yourself, like, a different game with Man United in the Premier League. It's just a different league.
No, absolutely. And I actually did a watch along with Strasbourg Steve to watch Real Madrid on Saturday morning, and just the amount of technical ability and just the difference in speed and the different emphases that they have between the Premier League and La Liga, and the different sizes, the different speeds. There's absolutely a difference between the two. I recognize that. But, just to point out to go from barely being penalized to 2 red cards and then accumulating a suspension off of yellows, that's something entirely different, I think. Okay. Ian, I know you're a fan of Darlington FC. I've seen this in like so many different chats. I'm so glad that you're that you're promoting your team. I'm so glad that you've had 3 promotions in the last 10 years. I just want to go ahead and big up Darlington, and big up you for supporting them, I guess. Okay. So, all right, let's go ahead and end the show soon here. We've been going for about 50 minutes. Again, thank you guys so much for coming on. I do want to talk about Erling Haaland. I think that RB Leipzig are a different kind of competition. I don't even know where RB Leipzig are in the Bundesliga. Hold on. I want to see where they are right now, but 7-0 Man City over Leipzig. I called like a 2-1 dirty win over them, but they are 3rd in the Bundesliga, and they just got absolutely taken to the woodshed by Man City. 5 goals by Erling Haaland. 5.
No,
Connor,
man.
should we be worried?
Well, listen, a team on a form like that, and you, in my opinion, I think Leipzig aren't. They're not the team. It's like it's Bayern 7-0. You know, if you think about Bundesliga, you think about Bayern, how even Dortmund, how they normally rule the German league. They did it. To be fair to Leipzig, they were missing their main goalkeeper. He is out for injury, but you can't fault that. Come on, it's 7-0. It's like when you're playing in the Champions League, you do not expect a knockout tie to end 8-1 in aggregate. Like, you don't. You know, and it just shows, unfortunately, the quality that Man City have shown. And obviously I think we can all agree that I think Man City haven't been the standard they obviously have been in previous Premier League seasons. But at times like this, it's obviously worrying for when we've got to go to the Etihad. You know, Man City fans in the back, you know, you got them everywhere. They'll be obviously hyped up for a massive fixture like that. But then there's a part of me that's like, is this a good thing that they're progressing so far into the Champions League? Because does that mean Pep will be like, okay, let's maybe just focus a bit more onto the Champions League and not a bit, but not so much on the Prem. So, you know, it's interesting, but Haaland on that kind of form, and the fact that I had a couple of people saying to me about the whole Mbappe-Haaland debate that Haaland's not near Mbappe, it's just nonsense. I think the thing that gets mishapped is they're two completely different style of players, and it's facts.
Exactly.
You know, they're two completely different style of players. You wouldn't catch Haaland on the wing. He is a central forward, pretty much. You will not see him anywhere else on the pitch. He will wait in that box. I want to watch the highlights after to see what the goals he scored were like. But he's a man in the box. He will completely tear you apart with one mistake. And he's shown his quality today, and it's worrying. Not just that, but some other City players as well. You know, Gundogan scored today, who I think is a fantastic midfielder, especially this season at the age of 31, 32. And of course, De Bruyne gets a goal, which is no change for Kevin De Bruyne. So it's worrying, to say the least. But when are we not worried about Man City? You know, all I hope is, you know, to quickly wrap up my point here, when they came to us at home, I'm going to be completely brutal with you. If we weren't being so god-awful stupid and started playing it around the back, I'm going to be honest, I think we could have walked out of that game with a point. I think whatever Mikel said to them in that dressing room about saying play around the back, which is what completely messed us over, could we have taken it to them that day? Maybe. Maybe could we got a point in that game? Maybe. But looking at it now, it's so hard to debate how that Etihad game's going to go. But just looking at that scoreline tonight, it shows that we cannot be taking the mick out of this Man City side. 5 points clear or nothing, possibly 8 points clear before the international break, you know, even though they do have a game in hand. So we can't take this for granted. We can't feel, we're real comfortable being a couple of points clear, because we can't. Because they've just shown tonight how good they can be and how they could do that to any team. And the fact that they've done that in a knockout round of the Champions League, yeah, Leipzig all you want, it can be Leipzig, but it shows true talent, in my opinion. And the fact that Haaland scored 5 goals tonight also shows the talent that he shows and what he can do to teams. So I can only hope and pray that we walk to that Etihad Stadium in April and put in a performance that's worthy enough to possibly even get a point out of there. But yeah, that's how I wrap that up.
No, I think that's an excellent point, and I'll make one quick point here, is that no matter what Man City team gets fielded, we are going to have problems. Julian Alvarez is not a bad striker.
Mm.
Who would you rather? I'll put the panel out there. Who would you rather have, Alvarez or Nketiah?
Alvarez, 100%.
Okay, so that's the.
I'd rather have a League 2 striker than Eddie Nketiah.
See, there you go. So, but that's the difference in levels. Okay.
Yeah.
Especially with the fan base, you know, the fan base expectations. It's like Man City has Alvarez in a backup role. We have Eddie Nketiah for half the season. Okay. So if people are gonna think, you know, I've seen it in chats all day. Oh yeah, we're gonna walk into Man City. We're gonna give them a game. We might give them a game, but if we put 1 foot wrong, we're done. We're done.
100%.
It's over. Like I still can't get that Tommy mess up to De Bruyne out of my head. I just can't. Like, we are one mistake away from dropping 3 there, and then we are done.
That's the annoying thing, especially of that game. It was all mistakes. It was an error from Tomiyasu, which, in my opinion, he should have just cleared it. Why he used his weaker foot to pass it made no sense to me. When you're literally next to the manager box, just whack it out. There's no reason about that. And then the other 2 are from passing around the back. So take that away. I'm going to be honest. They're 3 mistakes. Not saying that we could have won that game, because Man City were the better team on the day. Fact. We
weren't generating anything up front either.
No,
to be fair.
But if we learn from that and try to put in a decent performance, like the way we played again, I know it's only Fulham, and respect to Fulham, they've done very well this season, and they've gone further than I think most people would have projected them to go this season. But if we play something like that, and we play that kind of football where we were so dominant for a majority of that game, when we go up against City, we shouldn't be changing our standards and the way we go. Exactly. Just because it's Man City, and because we know they're extremely threatening, never taking that away from them. That is probably the game I'm most nervous for this season. I know we've got to go to Anfield, but I'd say the Etihad is obviously more because they're right below us in the table. But just little mistakes like that can cause you to not get any points. So I just hope that, not taking any crap, full team for that game, full strength, and we're not making any stupid mistakes. And I think we could do something like that. But like I said, today is how they've already shown how strong they are and how good they can be.
Yeah. Jez, are you scared of Man City?
Am I scared of Man City? I'm not scared of any team, mate. Arsenal on their day can take anyone. Fact is, we've been embarrassed in Europe by Bayern Munich 10-2. Home and away, but that was coming to the end of the time with Wenger, and we were just a crap team. I'm confident, guys. Man City, Haaland is a beast. He's a beast of a player. I mean, he's relentless. But when we played them, he wasn't great against us. He was not great, and I think that let's put it in perspective. When we go to the Etihad, it's going to be a tough day out. It has been for years and years and years. But Arsenal right now are in a different class of game. We proved that at home against Bournemouth, 2-0 down, come back to win it 3-2 because the team wanted it. They're sniffing, they're smelling the coffee of winning the Premier League. These players want it, and it's in them to do it. So I'm confident. Yeah, I fancy going to. I think we can get a result at Anfield, one of the hardest grounds to go to and get a result. And I think if we go there, if we can nick a win, a 1-0 at Anfield, and get a draw or even possibly a win at City, it's game over. It's job done. We've got Chelsea at home. I've got every confidence we'll do them because they're so in and out at the moment. And I'm not frightened of going against Man City at the Etihad. No, I'm not. I've got every confidence that this team can go there and do some damage. And I just want to answer what Ian said there about that tackle. The fact is, mate, if you go into a tackle, and he may have won the ball first, but if you go through, follow it showing studs up on the outside of that tackle, making contact, it's a red card. It's in the laws of the game. You can go and look it up, mate. I respect what you're saying. I really do, because Ian's a top fella. In my chat all the time. Lovely man. But it's fact. You cannot show your studs up, even if you've won the ball. If you make contact after you've won the ball, your studs up, mate, it's a red card.
All right. Okay, Kyle, I'll give you the last take on this Man City and then we will get out of here.
Yeah, I'm like Jez. Don't fear him. We can go to the Etihad, and to be like I always say, to be the best, you have to beat the best. So, like I always quote a few examples. Roger Federer playing Nadal in Wimbledon. He has to go. He has to say to himself, "I have to beat this man to be champion." Muhammad Ali against George Foreman. I have to beat this man to be champion. Arsenal have to go to Etihad, have to get a result to be champions. That's champions mentality. Both we have games before that we have to win. So let's not take it for granted that all we have to do is rock up to the Etihad and be crowned champions. We've a lot of football we played, yes. And Kevin Haaland, every generation has a new kind of player. We had Ronaldo, we had Messi, and now we have Haaland. There's not a striker on the planet that's like Haaland. He's built like a heavyweight boxer, and he scores and it's just there for everyone to see. The man is an absolute animal.
Yeah.
And if we're not on our game, that man could single-handedly destroy us.
Yep.
So it's good. Don't get me wrong. The game the other day against Fulham has made me believe for the first time in 19 years. But all I'm saying is let's be cautious. We've a lot of football to be played, yes. It's just not down to the Man City game. It's about a lot of games, yes. But I'm like Jez. Do no fear. Go to the Etihad. We can do this. We can do this. It's now or never. It's now or never.
I couldn't agree more. Yeah. No, the time is now because you don't have any guarantee that we can keep up this kind of form and have the same start of the season that we had this year. Period. So, yeah. No, it's this season or it's never going to happen. I agree. And with that, we're going to go ahead and send it out. Conor, why don't you share with us where people can find you, where they can find you if they need help with some media? Give it to us, my man.
Yeah, so I'm mainly a graphic designer now, so I'm about to do work for TJ here. Do some work for his channel, maybe some intros and some outros. So yeah, if you want to hit me up for some graphic work, I do have I've also done graphic work for these two fine gents here, Jez and Kyle. So if you ever need any editing work, my Instagram is cmo.editing. You see the thing CMO and the initials .editing, and then my personal Instagram is just Conor MXO. And thank you for having me on, TJ. I really appreciate it.
No, Conor, you're welcome back anytime, my man. I really, really appreciate it. I'm really looking forward to working with you on the visual media side of it because you do the work you did for Jez's intro. It actually, again, I know a lot of people have said this to you. It actually gets me emotional. Like it's insane. It's insane how well that was done. Kyle.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you get me on Kyle Walsh Gunner. And speaking facts, speaking from the heart, speaking from the mind, that's it. Passionate as they come. And I'm starting my own live, I'm going actually no live show, so I'll be asking you fine gentlemen, all you legends to come along and join. And I have Conor, I'm going to be in touch with you there because I have an idea, the name of the show. So it's going to be the Volcano Gunner or something like that. So I'll be in touch with you because on my show, everything goes. I don't give a fuck about monetization. I don't give a fuck about YouTube. I don't give a fuck about anything. Just that's it.
Yeah.
So it should be fun.
Can't wait.
The YouTube isn't ready, but we are. That's all I'm going to say about that. Jez, the legend, where can we find you, my man?
Yeah, I'm on Insta, collins.jez, in some group chats on there, which is always fun. And the main thing on YouTube is Arsenal, the history and more. And how can I say this to young Conor? Jaminio's just put in there. Jez intro is the best on the whole of YouTube, and nothing will change my mind. And the thing is, I get loads of people in my comments say it's the best intro.
Wow.
So Conor, mate, I can't say any more. It was all I said to young Conor was do me an intro with the North Bank and that song, and he did the rest. And absolute legend that he is, he did it, and it's fantastic. Love it. And the graphic, the Arsenal history and more thing, it's brilliant. And to anybody, I'm just going to say, put it out there. Anybody wants any graphics stuff done, contact this young man. He's an absolute legend. Tomorrow night, I'm on at 6 o'clock with Lee Gunner, Kenny Ken, and Dan Potts from the 12th Man. And it's been 2 years now since I've done any streams with Dan Potts. Top fella. I really like Dan. So that'll be fun. And come and watch, have a listen, have a disagreement if you don't like it, but it's always good with those guys. Absolute top quality fellas. And TJ, can I say, mate, your channel is going to go big. Great content. You're a great host. And
thank you, man.
Thank you again, mate, for having me on.
Of course. No, I appreciate it. And now that I'm going to be working with Conor, the bar has been set, Conor. Okay, I'm not saying you gotta go like James North Bank level, but like maybe somewhere in between there, right?
Yeah. I'll try my best. I always try my best for the people I work with, and I hope I can do some good work for you, man.
I'm looking forward to it, my man. I know it's gonna be A+. I just want to call out the chat real quick. Mama Flossie, Ian, Jaminho. I know Craig was in here for a minute. Thank you guys so much for coming on and supporting me. I know a lot of our time is spent in Lee's channel, just bantering on Sunday and Saturday mornings and some Thursdays. So just knowing that you guys are in here and supporting me, doing what I was inspired to do by Lee and Jez, it means the world to me that you guys are here. So thank you so much. So looking forward to Friday, we have the American Idiot show. It's going to be our weekly show here. We are going to have a special St. Patrick's Day edition of the show. Kyle is going to be there. I'm going to try to get Del Boy on too. So if you get in touch with Del Boy, you tell him to get on here so we can have
TJ,
especially Irish.
Yeah, might have a bit of difficulty getting Del Boy on the show. I'd say on Paddy's there now because I said Del Boy is definitely in a pub.
I figure he'll probably be at the pub or something.
I think he'd be lashing the black stuff, as we call it, to Guinness. I'd say he'd be letting the black stuff down. I'd say. I don't drink TJ, so that's why I'd be at the show me face. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there you go.
I gave up the drink a long time ago. Not good for me.
Well, fair enough. Well, he'll be out and he'll be drinking enough for all four of us. I think.
Dublin won't be safe. I'll pull that back.
All right. So again, we're gonna, of course, all three of you are welcome on. We're just gonna be talking about we're gonna be previewing the Prem. I'm just going to keep it to the Premier League. I am not going to be talking about the international break just because I think it's a joke. Like the fact that we are having an international break now after we just got done with the World Cup, I think it's a joke. So no, I will not be previewing that. I'm going to come up with some other ideas, some other videos that I can do during the international break. Of course, I will be watching the U.S. national team, but I probably won't comment on it just because I don't. It's so irrelevant right now. I think just because we're so far out from our next international competition. So that is my answer to that question. Again, thank you so much. Again, if anybody can come out for the St. Paddy's Day stream, feel free. And we would love to have you. Smash a like, subscribe to me, subscribe to these gentlemen, and we will see you on Friday. Come on, you Gunners. Let's go.
Oh, was he? Did he left by mistake? He left us.
He knocked himself off, did he?
Yeah. He must have.
Oh.